bows and bow ties. This was a packed weekend. I had a full weekend, but I had some time to hee haw at, a little bit here and there. I had some time to be absolutely disgusted. I had it all this weekend. So while I had a full sports weekend, um, let me just say this. In between, starting from, I think it was Friday, Marjorie tried Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett, Congressman Jasmine Crockett out of, I believe she's out of Texas, and Marjorie Green, I think, is out of Georgia. Marjorie Green tried to say, I can't understand you because of your eyelashes. And um, Jasmine Crockett, Congressman Jasmine Crockett was like, yo, are we talking about the bleach blonde, bad built, butch body? I was like, yo, this is basically their whole thing is like, let's not have these ad hominem attacks. And when Marjorie didn't try to like clean that up, so Jasmine creamed for her. I don't know where I heard, but I think they're going to try to have her start capitalizing off of that little comment she made now because they got all kinds of songs and memes and everything about. I mean, they've got all kinds of people singing it too. It's funny. I've heard that put to like something with country. It sounds some it's like old school, like the old school beat. They got hip hop. I'm like I'm done. I'm like when Congressman Jasmine Crockett said, "Are we talking about the bleach blonde, bad built butch body?" I was like, "Oh my!" She went in so hard. I was like, "Was she talking with Kendrick Lamar?" I mean, like, I feel like that's a bar. That's a whole bar. Like, she needs to sync up with Metro Boomin and get her own personal beat for that saying and flesh out this. This could be a whole bob. It's like, what is happening? May is May. But then I did not see the video. I saw some stills. I'm moving past the whole political nonsense. I saw some stills, okay, because I of the Diddy abuse to who I would assume is what's that girl's name? Cassie. This young lady. Now I can't tell if that's her based on the stills that I saw that people were showing. I think people were grabbing it from off of CNN or whatever it was. I'll say this. I don't like to see videos like that. So I'm glad people just showed like just some pictures and it wasn't too graphic, but you can see what was happening. And the way he was lunging like he wanted to punch this young lady. I was like, oh my gosh. Like let me just say this. I don't understand how anyone can rage on someone like that unless maybe if they hurt their child like like I just cannot process that. I have never been hit like that. So I'm just still, I don't even know what to say. I was just kind of like this, and that's just what we're seeing. Who knows the kinds of things that was happening behind the doors, right? Like there's all the rumors and stuff that are alleged, but we don't know to be true. But I believe them. I definitely believe them. I definitely believe them. But to see the pictures, like I just can't bring myself to watch the videos or the video. Like everybody's got the video. I can't see that. I don't understand that. Like, unless maybe he was, well, this is not an excuse, but maybe he was high on something. Like, to put your hands on someone like that. And I think the reason why I was just turned off was because he came out with an apology. And let me just say this. I do believe there is redemption. I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud. I do believe that God can extend mercy and grace. But see, I'm not that person right now. That's beyond me. Like, someone would have to pray for me because I would have a hard time. I would have a hard, like, the things that he was doing, the things that he's alleged of doing, right? When he came out with that apology, it was really hard for me to believe him, and I'll tell you why. Not too long ago, didn't he just lie and say like, I'm trying to work hard to clear my name, or I don't know. He was basically vehemently like denying everything, and now he's so disgusted. I'm like, you weren't disgusted a couple of months ago when this came out, but only because it's being shown on television or in social media around the world, and now you're disgusted. You're trying to be a better man. You're taking accountability. How? What does that look like? What does the accountability look like? Are you paying reparations for the people who are harmed? And reparations isn't just money, right? It's all those things. I always liken it to like when people get into a car accident, right? And the goal is for the insurance company or the offender to make the person whole, right? So you have to repair the vehicle. Sometimes there's a civil component to it where like, well, I guess it is civil, but like where you got to make the person whole. They've missed work. Maybe their body is not the same, so now they need rehabilitation. There's all kinds of things. When I talk about reparations, I think about what does that look like? How do you become accountable for? It's hard for me to process that it's not just a monetary component. I mean, that's always helpful, but like these are emotional traumatic scars. Like how do you repair that? Like, are you paying for a lifetime of therapy? Are you making sure that they're physically, medically compensated for it? Then there's the monetary component. There's the pain that's caused to loved ones, family members. There's I don't know. I'm just speaking off the top of my head, so I'm sure I'm leaving some things out. And there's some things that if I think about this later on, of course, I'll come up with much more poignant points. But I just kind of feel like his apology was so lame. He's disgusted. I don't know if that's true because he wasn't disgusted when he was doing it all these things all these years, right? I think much of what he has going on is quite demonic. So I don't know what was he disgusted in himself for, because just a few months prior he was going to clear his name. He wasn't apologetic. I think now that okay, so like no, this truck is not coming next to me being like all super loud. So he wasn't like I don't think he had any sort of contrition, you know, just a short few months prior. So when he says he's accountable, I'm like, I don't know what that means. Does that mean you're going to confess all the things you've done? Now, let me just say this. It is not for him to confess to me. It's up to him to confess to, now I'm a God-fearing woman, so like to God, right? Like, I believe in Jesus Christ. So he needs to confess to somebody. He needs to try to make it right with all the people that he damaged, right? Now, and I don't know what that looks like. Everybody's different. It may not ever make it out into these social media spaces, but this guy is full of crap. And I don't know how he would have been better off saying, I am ashamed of who I am. I was ashamed when I lied a few months ago and said I wanted to clear my name. I lied. Just saying I lied. I was ashamed of you know, and I didn't want anyone to see me that way because I'm ashamed of who I am, who I was, and who I am right now. I'm still a liar. Like, and people still would have like been hanging them out to dry, but like that looks a little bit better than like, oh, I'm just disgusted. I'm like, are you really though? You weren't disgusted a few months. I don't know. I don't know what this means. I don't this I'll put it to you like this. There are gonna be people who are gonna defend this guy. And I think it takes all kinds of points of views. I just kind of feel like he has to go make other people whole. He needs to go make those people whole. Because I don't know what this accountability looks like. And I feel like maybe it's not for me to know. But it's hard for me to take this ridiculous apology serious. He wasn't ashamed when he was denying these allegations. There was no shame. There was no contrition. It was all about protecting his name and his brand. And the people he surrounds himself with, they are troubled people too. Like, you need to take a long, hard look in a mirror. We all do. We all do, right? We all have some mess about us, including me. I just feel like to see those disturbing, like, I can't even imagine my husband putting his hands on me like that. Like, I don't, the only thing I would be doing is trying to figure out how to get my kids out of that situation. This was a young woman who I feel like had some sort of Stockholm syndrome. She probably feared for her life. You know, all the alleged things that he's done, the people that he's allegedly taken out, cars that were blown up, and I don't know. So she probably didn't feel like she had any sort of recourse until he was probably done with her. Allegedly, he passed her around to all of the other people and that he surrounds himself with so that they can have their way with her. I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, I can't process that. I just cannot. So anyway, him coming out there with this apology, I'm not sure why, what he didn't even need to come out with that apology, if you ask me. He should have been apologizing to the people he harmed. He wanted the world to know that he's, I don't even know. I'm like, what are you apologizing for? What exactly is he apologizing for? I don't think that was for the people who were harmed. I think that was for himself. He did that for himself. He did that because I guess he has many interests that have to be protected. There are people, there's money, there's brands. I don't know. He he is a monster. He is a bona fide monster. And the people who are in his camp that are surrounding him and co-signing this bad behavior, they're monsters too. I can understand maybe your children, like, this is my dad, like, he's a flawed man, but like, these friends that watched him do these things, these so-called friends that watched him because he's powerful or has money, they're monsters too. I do know that apology, I don't think he ever needed to even come on camera and apologize. For what? It's not believable. You were outed. So at this point, you already denied these allegations, and now you're saying you're sorry. You're sorry because you got caught. You're not ashamed. Just a few months ago, now all of a sudden you're enrolled in intense therapy. When did that start happening? When did the therapy, and how did you get access to a therapist so quickly? Because I know people who want to get access to a therapist, maybe for themselves or for their children or whatever, and they are having a really difficult time finding people that they can get in. I, I was just kind of like shocked. This guy is a bona fide monster. Monster. He's no different than a Epstein. I don't know if Epstein put his hands on people in that way, like, but he's a monster. I feel that whole Hollywood, that music industry is quite demonic. I think everyone sells their soul, or just about all of them. There's nothing about that industry I like. And thank goodness my children are not part of that industry. I hope they never want to be part of that industry. Ever. All right. Well, that's all I got for your little demonic friend out there, that psychopath. Um, was there anything else? I just wanted to say it was rainy. Playing out there with these kids, these sports was wearing me out. They were wearing me out. But I think that's pretty much it for me. All right, that's it. Go ahead and like all my videos and subscribe to everything that I do. Go see all my videos. Bye.